Ladies and gentlemen, the Champions League is back, and I'm going to do something that I've not seen anyone do this year. I'm going to give my Champions League predictions, and I'm not just going to tell you who I think is going to win. We're going to work it out properly. I am on worldfootball.net, and they have a load of table calculators for the Premier League, international leagues, and most importantly for this video, the Champions League. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skim through and punch through all the scores for all the fixtures of my own prediction. We're then going to get a calculated table. We're going to find out who gets knocked out, who gets the top 8 buys, and who enters the round of 32. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to skim through this and I will join you again at the table calculation.
Memory lost, amputate my brain, it's too much. Cover up my tracks, I can't stop. Justify your point and move on, yeah, you're messing me up. Oxygen count, beautiful computer shut down. Decorate your place across town. Paranoia stressing me out, and I feel a little unwell. Yeah, you're stressing me out, and I feel a little unwell.
Okay, so there it is. I have now done the score predictions for the table. I haven't seen the table yet. I've managed to calculate it and quickly divert off the screen. I've not really paid much attention to who's finished where, so we're going to really find out together. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to find out the 8 teams that have been eliminated from the Champions League based on my scores. Before we get into that, I will put in the highlighted scores on the screen now, just so you can see a little glimpse of what scores I have predicted. So we will start by scrolling up. So Karabag finished bottom, Paphos, Slavia Praha, Kara Almaty, Eintracht Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, Union Saint-Gilloise, Monaco, and Athletic Club. Oh, I messed that up. Have I messed that up? 8, 16, 24. No, sorry. This is 24. Sorry. Villarreal, Bayer Leverkusen, Copenhagen. They are all the teams that have been eliminated. So the teams that finish 9th to 24th are the teams that go into the round of 32. So it's typically the team that finishes 9th versus the team in 24th, and then 10th versus 23rd, and it kind of goes along that way. Top 8 of that bracket versus the bottom 8 of the bracket in alternating positions. Does that make sense? I hope it does. The teams in these positions are PSV Eindhoven, Sporting Lisbon, Club Brugge, Olympiacos, Ajax, Newcastle, Marseille, Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Atalanta, Galatasaray, Inter Milan, Napoli, Arsenal, Juventus, and Tottenham Hotspur. Your top 8 who get the bye are Chelsea, finishing 8th, Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City. Man City winning on 21 points. City, Bayern, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund, and Chelsea all get byes, so they're straight into the round of 16 regardless. So, hypothetically, what should happen now is I should go to the KO rounds. Oh. So it doesn't do that. Huh. So I've got to work out another way. Brilliant. Okay, so I've had to work out the round of 32 because the KO rounds don't act how I anticipated them to. I didn't do a test run, don't sue me. So the round of 32 ties, or the playoff round, sees Tottenham Hotspur versus PSV, Juventus versus Sporting Lisbon, Arsenal versus Club Brugge, Napoli versus Olympiacos, Inter Milan versus Ajax, Galatasaray versus Newcastle, Atalanta versus Marseille, Benfica versus Atletico Madrid. So I'm not going to do the score predictions, I'm just pretty much going to predict over 2 legs who I expect would win those ties. So Spurs versus PSV, I'm going to go with Tottenham. Juventus versus Sporting, I'm going to go with Juventus. Arsenal versus Club Brugge, I'm obviously going to go Club Brugge. I'm obviously going to go Arsenal, that's a no-brainer, Arsenal will go through that one. Napoli versus Olympiacos, I'm going to say Napoli. Inter versus Ajax, yet again, I'm going to go with the team that finished higher, Inter Milan. Galatasaray versus Newcastle, I think the tightest one on here. I'm going to go Galatasaray. Benfica versus Atletico, I am going to say Benfica go through on that one. So as you can now see on the screen, I have got the top 8 teams and the teams that won their playoff round. So if I click this one and click this one at the same time, so that should spin. So our first game is going to be Bayern Munich against Juventus. Very interesting start. So we'll spin and to see how the matches come out. What the fuck's a Napoli? Well, how have I done that? Oh, I don't know. So with the round of 16, Bayern versus Juventus, I'm going to have Bayern win that. Real Madrid versus Benfica, Real Madrid are going to win that. Liverpool versus Arsenal in the round of 16. Now I think this is quite tasty because I think both teams in the Champions League have a real potential to go all of the way and win the Champions League. So it wouldn't surprise me that the winner of this does go all the way for me. I'm going to go Liverpool purely on the basis that both teams played the other day and Liverpool won. That's purely where I'm going with that. So Liverpool are going to go through. Dortmund versus Napoli is quite a tasty one. I'm going to go with Napoli to win that one. Man City versus Inter was a Champions League final a couple of years ago. Inter did make it to the final but got completely embarrassed. Yeah, I'm going to go Man City. Man City are going to win that one. PSG versus Marseille, quite easy one. I think PSG will win that. Chelsea versus Galatasaray. Yeah, again, like I said, I like Galatasaray, but I think Chelsea will win that one. Barcelona versus Spurs. Gonna hate doing this, but over 2 legs, I fancy Tottenham to beat Barcelona. As they are right now with their new signings, I fancy Spurs to beat Barcelona. So there are 8 teams. So for a recap, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Napoli, Manchester City, PSG, Chelsea and Tottenham. So 4 English teams left somehow. I mean, it's very likely that if there's 6 English teams in this Champions League, surely one of them gets to the final. Surely at least one. It depends what happens with the draw. Let's do this. Okay, so you've just seen the draws there for the quarterfinals. Just to run through the fixtures: Bayern Munich versus Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea versus Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain versus Real Madrid, Liverpool versus Napoli. Now, I've also drawn the semi-final order like they do in real life, and it is semi-final 3 versus semi-final 2, and semi-final 4 versus semi-final 1. So I will give the predictions in order of the semi-final draw. So from semi-final 3, I have got Real Madrid beating PSG. From semi-final 2, I have got Chelsea beating Manchester City. Now I think that'll be a very tight game. Probably down to penalties. We're quite good in tournaments, and Man City haven't been defensively as strong. Semi-final 4, I think that's probably the easiest one to predict. Liverpool versus Napoli. Liverpool will win that one. And then Bayern Munich versus Tottenham Hotspur in semi-final 1. I've got Bayern Munich winning that one. So our semi-finals are set up as Real Madrid versus Chelsea and Liverpool versus Bayern Munich. Real versus Chelsea. We're in another final. I'm very biased. Chelsea are in another final. Liverpool versus Bayern, it's an all-English final. We're going to have Chelsea versus Liverpool. Now, who wins this one? Hurts me to say it, Liverpool are going to be the Champions League winners. Chelsea on their day, I mean, this is probably based on the fact that we beat PSG, who are one of the best teams we've seen in so many years. I just think Liverpool are too strong, to be honest. I think Liverpool have got a great team. They've got a good chance to win the Champions League based on how I've predicted it. I think Liverpool will go all the way and obviously win it. Maybe a detriment of the Premier League. Who knows? I think Chelsea are also very strong. I think there's a lot of momentum coming out of the World Cup and keeping everyone fit. Obviously, January, that window will also be quite important. I mean, realistically, Chelsea probably will make quarterfinals or semis, but yet again, I see no reason for Chelsea to not go all the way. But I've got us falling at the final hurdle. Not really a true fan, am I? But Liverpool are my Champions League winners for 2025-26. What's your prediction? Let me know. If you need an editor, let me know.